Hello, I'm Leroy and today I'll be helping you to transition from Mobile Legends to Wild Rift. So in case you're new here, I've covered the mid champions in the previous video, so go check it out. So junglers in League plays a big role. They are the key initiators most of the time and they provide momentary support. But for most of the time, junglers spend their laning phase farming and leveling up in the jungle. They won't see as much action as you would in a lane. So before we begin our junglers edition, I would like to add that I'm terribly sorry for not including Yasuo in the mid edition video. So Yasuo is a fanciful and nimble champion. He's equipped with aggressive and low cooldown skills that does great in the lane, as well as solo duels and team fights. You can never really go wrong with mastering him in the mid lane. Lancelot has identical playstyles like Yasuo. They both share almost the same skill where they can dash to untagged targets repeatedly. So Yasuo has an activatable shield that negates projectiles and a short skill called Steel Tempest that gains stacks when landed and amplifies it to a tornado that knocks up enemies. So the only way that the ultimate can trigger is when enemies are knocked up. So you can basically combo with his amplified Steel Tempest or combo it with Malphite's ulti, any skill that provides a knockup. So he does come with some caveats. Playing Yasuo needs confidence and great positioning. Lots of practice to really pull off some of the sickest combos. He's squishy and very vulnerable to CCs as well. You either get good or die trying. Yeah, I still can't believe I missed him out in the previous video. I'm terribly sorry guys. Okay, so I think we're done with all our mid champions and now we'll start with our junglers. First on the list we have Camille. She's an elite agent that is half machine, practically a cyborg. When I look at her playstyle, it immediately reminds me of Link from Mobile Legends. She excels at many aspects in the game. She has great mobility, good dueling and teamfight capabilities. She's able to almost do everything that you would expect a jungler would be. Camille is considered a very well-rounded champion that scales well towards the late game with some minor quirks. Her first skill, Precision Protocol, is a melee ability. Her second ability is a frontal AoE cone slow. It's useful for chasing, clearing creeps, delaying, and zoning. Hookshot is her third ability. She latches onto an obstacle or terrain and propels her towards a certain direction. Camille is exceptionally great at picking out enemies. She's basically a gank driven bruiser, but she's kind of weak in the early stages of the game and she's very dependent on mana. Next we have Gragas. He is an AP champion that does well to aid the team in every way. His kit provides great AoE damage which makes him an excellent jungler as he can clear his rotation rather quickly, along with CC skills and the ability to peel and self-sustain in the prolonged team fights. So from Mobile Legends we have Bane for comparison. Barrel Roll is his first ability which explodes after 2 seconds, deals magic damage and slowing enemies inside. Just like Bane, he channels his second ability that allows him to gain an augmented AoE attack. You can pair this to combo with his third ability to get close as well. So this is where his passive allows him to sustain. As every other skill, he regenerates a portion of his max HP. With his ultimate, you're able to set up plays and displace enemies if played in the right time. However, his abilities are relatively slow, so it's pretty easy to avoid if you're cautious. Gragas is also susceptible to be kited around, so take note of that. Master Yi. He's probably one of the easiest champions to learn. Master Yi's kit is pretty one-dimensional. His abilities are easy to understand. You farm, you gank, you farm some more, and you hit your power spike, snowball the game. So Master Yi is amazing at clearing jungle creeps. He possesses high mobility and develops monstrous damage output in the late game. He feels pretty similar with a mix of Zilong and a little of Roger's abilities in Mobile Legends. Alpha Strike is just like Roger's wolf form first skill. He is able to strike a number of targets in an AoE. With Master Yi's second ability, he channels and heals every second based on his missing health. During that period whilst channeling, he acquires damage reduction as well. It's pretty useful to help sustain and reduce damage taken if used in the right time, and it might even save your life when an enemy deals a fatal blow. Highlander is his ultimate and is almost identical or the same as Zilong's. This is your meal ticket to potentially rack up massive kills in the game. He does suffer from mana sufficiency, vulnerable to CCs, and enemy tends to respond quickly to not let mastery get out of control by simply interfering his farm and shutting down him early. Now Shyvana, she has great objective control. She's not mana dependent. She's able to split push and deal great amounts of siege damage as well. Personally, I feel like her playstyle matches Masha with Thamu's abilities. With her passive, she's able to deal extra damage to drakes or dragons, which is one of the objectives in the game. Most of her skills are relatively the same as Thamu's, as she leaps into an area whilst turning into dragon. Twin Bite, her first ability, strikes twice and cleaves during dragon form. Her second ability is an AoE damage spell, and is Flame Breath. Her third ability, that marks the first enemy when hit, provides extra damage based on the enemy's maximum health. However, Shyvana is team dependent, just like Masha. Split pushing without proper coordination with your team can get you unwanted results. Your team have to know when to attract and distract the enemy team while you sliver away into their base. Shyvana is kind of weak in the early game without her ult, so prioritizing farm would be the ideal situation for most scenarios. Vi is incredible when it comes to gank. Her kit allows her to basically roam early and to potentially aid other lanes to victory. Equipped with high mobility and fast wave clear in the jungle, Vi is able to single out a target pretty easily with her ability. Alpha is her equivalent in Mobile Legends. Her passive allows her to be very sustainable in team fights. She's able to peel most of the damage, gaining a shield whenever she activates an ability. Equipped with offensive-oriented skills like her first ability, it allows her to take down creeps or champions with ease. Vi is able to quickly get close towards her enemies with her second skill and ultimate, and finally detonating a devastating blast with her third ability. Vi does extremely well in the early game towards the mid game. However, she does tends to fall off during the late game. Both of her skills, her second ability and her ultimate, are interruptible. So with her, you have to be cautious of your position or you will be in a bad spot. Vi is definitely one of the champions that I would love to main. I simply like champions with lots of action and it's very fun. Lastly, for the jungle role, we have Xin Zhao. Coincidentally, he too plays like Zilong in Mobile Legends. So you're able to gank with Xin Zhao when he's level 2, using his third ability to dash and knock up with his first, and his second ability is a slow, which definitely ensures the target enemy to commit some skill or flash to escape. So Xin Zhao's ultimate creates a circle that zones out enemies, leaving you a battle to death. With his kit, be sure to rotate to a lane that has overextended enemies, as this allows him to instill pressure in the lane, as well as gaining an upper hand of a early game lead. Basically, you have to snowball early with Xin Zhao, as he really falls off hard during the later stages of the game. So that's all for the Junglers edition. I really hope that I didn't miss out any potential champions. As you might know, Wild Rift isn't exactly the same as the PC counterpart, but I hope that this guide or this video could help you understand what champions to play in Wild Rift, what playstyle do you belong to, and help you clarify things. So this is a 5-part series, and in case you've missed the previous one, do check it out in my channel. And if you appreciate the work I do, subscribe. I'll be definitely pushing out more content in the future, so better stay tuned. I would also like to invite you to our small community at Discord. It's always such a joy, and you get to know like-minded people that has passion for the game. So yeah, I hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the next one.